thoughts on my mind, I can't sleep at night, so I just keep writing. I don't need no help, I don't need opinions, so don't waste my time then. Killing the game and I gotta go ask anybody, they all heard about it. They know when the kid and he's spitting it, know when he getting it, bit and I get in my way. Got this, I like do whatever I say, cause I could go put you on blast. People been mad at me cause I don't follow them back. I'm laughing cause that is so whack. Why they all trying to act like they been bossing when really their boss has been bossing them up? Nobody ever been telling me what I would do when I keep in the cash, for the shit out of luck. I want it more, now I get what I wish. Upgrading now with some pants that I whip. Making 6 figures, don't talk about it. Money ain't shit, it's about how you think. Tired of people who making excuses, then they complain about losing. Tell me about what you been doing, tell me about how you been moving. You ain't got nothing to prove then. I did it all on my own, they looking like all of my clones. I don't be following trends, fuck all the popular clothes. You faking and everyone knows. I just be keeping it real, they thinking that I have to go sign a deal, but really the people just found an appeal. I'm in my own lane and I'm steering the wheel, ayy. It's funny how it goes, funny how it goes. Working every night till the sunrise.
Welcome back, everybody, once again. Now, we're all the way towards the end of Season 5, Episode 9, and we got none other than, someone I'm very happy to have on the show, and someone I'm very proud to say, fellow Hall of Fame member for the XCW in Void. And let me channel my inner Void. Hold on. Okay. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you, Chris?
I am extremely happy to have you on the show.
I'm happy to be here, man.
It's been one of the ones we've been, can't say planning, but trying to get for a long time, different work schedules and such as that. And I'm happy to get into this. You ready?
Yeah, sure.
What, in Void's opinion, do you think is the state of XCW? The morale in the locker room, we're coming to the beginning of the 2022 season here in a couple months.
Yeah.
How do you think it feels back there?
I think morale's high. I think last year proved that we have a lot of capable young guys that are stepping up really big. We have guys like Vex, who's not that young, but his experience and overall his star power is really good. And I mean, he is a newcomer of XCW. He's been here, 2 years, 3 years, somewhere around there.
Yep.
So, he came in right off the bat. I think he got close to the world title.
He did. He
got the world title.
The proverbial choke at SummerMania in the Fatal 4-Way.
Yep. So, he came in right away, made an impact, and then we have a long-timer like, Jesse Justice, putting on the career year he had in 2021. That was really big and...
Extremely big. Beginning of 2021, the writers group was pretty hot. We were pretty active in there, and then ultimately it died off with just me and Fletch kind of bouncing ideas off each other towards the end. But my goal for 2021, you mentioned Jesse, is I want to push Jesse to win the world title.
Yeah,
that was my goal, and we had doubts because it's not doubting Jesse's
ability,
his character, or anything like that. It's just will he get over with the people? Whether it's face, whether it's heel, can Jesse hold that thing? And so far he's doing well, going into the feud with Kurt Acid as of this recording.
Yeah.
And very proud of you and Jesse both this season. As I said, you did win Hall of Fame, which I'm very proud of.
Yeah, I'm very... I was shocked, man. I really was.
You could tell by the facial expression.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting any of that, but I am very thankful.
I normally don't watch all VCAs because I just don't like the fucking show, to be honest. But this year, because I wasn't there due to writers' meetings and stuff like that for outside projects, I watched this year, and two legitimate people that did not expect to win was you for Hall of Fame, and then Psycor. You could see that you guys were surprised. And moving on, something else that might have surprised a lot of people is you had a first-time ever Field of Fatality match in 2021. Yeah. But that's not even the big part of the match. The big part of the match was Void capturing that championship. Not only capturing the championship, going on to pop that big question. How does that make you feel to be surrounded by friends, people you consider family, to do something of that magnitude after Yeah, we love wrestling, like we love winning and stuff like that. But something of that magnitude to affect your personal life, how does that make you feel?
Well, the fact that I couldn't even get the question out because I was crying. But I mean, as you said, everybody here I do consider family. I come to these Saturday shows. Not just for the show itself, but just so I can interact with each and every one of these people. Like, Festus and I, we're really close. Me and him are really good friends, and if it weren't for XCW, I would not even know the guy.
Yeah.
So, to be surrounded by everybody that I consider family and friends and all that, it was huge. And I am going to throw a little fun fact in there. Me and her actually met in 2017 at a show in... Well, we were still down there down the hill from Walgreens.
Yeah.
Me and her first met there, and I was dating her best friend at the time. And, it was a little awkward.
I like the sound of that. So, something I didn't even know recently, like honestly didn't know until like 2021 is I didn't know that you were married before. I'm dead serious. Like, I had no idea. What is the difference between, number one and number two?
Trust. Number two trusts a lot more, and I could do a lot more things that I couldn't do with number one.
Yeah.
Like, I missed 3/4 of the 2018 season just because she wouldn't let me go.
Well, we're going to piggyback into something else that a lot of people like to talk about. What is your favorite XCW match? It can be one you've participated in. It can be just one you enjoyed watching. But in Void's illustrious XCW career, what is your favorite match?
That's tough. I'm a big fan of the Monsters Ball that me and Roddy had in me and Hazard, whatever, that me and him had in 2017 agreed.
There's no gimmicks. You can call him Roddy, Roddles, Hazard, Heifer, whatever.
But, that match was big, not only for my sake, but that was also leading up to where I cashed in on you for the XCW Championship that year.
Yeah, and we are going to get into that a little later on as well. Worst weapon shot ever?
Easy, hands down, it was the Guitar Hero shot that I took from LOL. I can't remember what year it was, but man, it knocked my fucking lights out.
I believe it was 2014, and I believe it was when LOL was the equivalent of the Extreme Champion. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Because I'm pretty sure it ended with like a disaster piece on the chair on concrete or something like that, but I remember exactly what you're talking about. For some reason, LOL Chris Jones, and they lean towards Guitar Hero guitars. I wonder why. I could say Guitar Hero guitars, they don't feel good.
No, they didn't even explode like it. Something happened, and that fucker was just solid. I was like,
and the funny thing is, like, the guts get taken out of the guitar, like, to make it a little easier, but it still doesn't help that much.
No, God, no.
Who chops the worst? I know you've answered this on your free time before, but for no false fans, who chops the worst? I know you're probably not going to remember everybody that's ever chopped you, so.
I would strongly say probably Genocide or I'm sorry, Kurt Acid. My bad. Still trying to get used to that transaction.
I called him Genocide one whole no false episode after he was already Kurt Acid, so no biggie.
But his is probably the worst. I know I've got some decent chops on myself, but I think Hazard probably gave me the worst one I've had so far.
Not including myself, I think the 3 worst chops I've ever taken is from Genocide, which I don't know why I came up with a stupid spot to chop him. He chops me, I chop him, and then he chops me like up to 10 times. That's so fucking stupid. But yeah, you got Kurt Acid, you got Hazard. Hazard's chops aren't like, it's not like a Genocide chop or a Kurt Acid chop. Like, Hazard's chops are just really fucking hard and stiff.
Yeah.
It's like getting hit with a frozen tree trunk. But someone that doesn't get said a lot because he doesn't like the chop, you have to call it in the matches.
Yeah.
I've been chopped by Fletch.
Yeah, I forgot Fletch is pretty bad too.
And like, if you go back and watch the SummerMania match between me and Fletch a couple years ago, like, he gets me in the corner, I'm like, yeah, bitch, chop me. And after he chops me, he gives me a boom. I'm like,
Why'd I call that?
And they're looking in the fucking doorway, and they're fucking dying because my facial expression. It's fucking real. Like, he killed me with those chops. Over time, you've been in XCW a couple times, couple sporadic breaks or whatever.
Yeah.
Who has helped you in just overall your character, your career the most throughout that time period?
Honestly, when I first started, there was nobody more in my corner than there was this Fletch and Tommy. Fletch helped me out with, like, getting my gimmick down, helped me, you know. My biggest thing was I didn't take my entrance serious.
Yeah.
That was a big thing, and I finally was able to break that show. It took me probably 3 solid years to finally break that to where my entrance is now the explosiveness of what it is now, and a lot of that is due to Fletch being like, man, I need intensity out of you. You know, that camera, the people, it needs to see it, or, you know, you're just never going to get over it.
And a lot of times, when it comes to, like, even just entrance, like, you could have the best wrestling skills in the world, but, like, if you don't come out and get the people hyped up, or you don't come out and get the people hating you, like, you're partially not doing your job, so to speak. And, like, there's certain people that are supposed to be hyped up, like a Void, like a Fletch, like a Tommy, at some points like a Hazard, but there's people that, you know, they don't necessarily need to come out hyped up, like a Jesse, like a me at different points in my career, like. But I can say, over time, like, you are on point with that fucking entrance. Was wow at the beginning of the show. Who is the worst XCW wrestler of all time?
DTC. In my opinion, it is DTC.
That is, I think, the first time we've had a DTC answer, but obviously some people have been around longer, so they know other people. Who is the best XCW wrestler of all time?
Charisma, insane spots, crazy shit would be you.
Common answer.
For the actual, like, chain wrestling side of things, the groundwork, I'd have to give it to Kurt Acid. I think he is a really good chain wrestler. I think he's really good at doing stuff on the ground. I mean, obviously his size plays a good part of that.
And when Benji is motivated, like, he can do the job he needs to do. He is an excellent chain wrestler. I chain wrestle with very few people, but if they're like, hey, Chris, you get to pick, like, 2 people to chain wrestle, Benji is always at the top of that list. A couple more questions before the first break.
Okay.
What kind of hobbies does Void have outside wrestling? Besides, I'm going to, X the obvious, besides sports.
Yeah, of course. Biggest one, I love the outdoors. I love to go fishing all the time, especially during the summer. Video games, hardcore. PlayStation Network, you know what I'm saying? But no, I'm a big time gamer, and I love the lake, man.
It's great to hear. Video games are becoming, like, everyday. Like, even people that you would never normally expect to play video games, from, like, celebrities to, like, random people. Like, it used to be just a geek thing.
Yeah.
Well, now geeks to do cool, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty much.
Last question before we go to the commercial break. We talked earlier about your favorite match being the Monsters Ball with Hazard, which led you to go on to something very extraordinary and big. The first ever elimination chain match, I believe. Several people in the match, you and I having, like, a very short feud leading up to, like, the Beat the Clock challenge to determine which place we came in. You were eliminated pretty quickly in that match.
Yeah, I was.
And then you came back out to do something great for your career. How did it feel to be entrusted with that feud with Hazard, go on to Elimination Chain, and for Fletch to give you green light, cash in on Chris?
That was huge for me. I mean, I feel like I worked my ass off to get to that point, you know, especially as bad as I was coming into 2014. I was horrible. I was bad. I think Brogan O'Shea was probably the second worst ever new starter. Like, just coming in, like, I was far worse than he was. And for that 3 year span, of that struggles to lead up to what I did in 2017 was huge. And it meant a lot that Fletch had the trust in me to be like, yeah, you know what, you've earned this.
And we even did the, is Void actually going to do it? Like, you eventually would do 3 disaster pieces, ultimately get to that final celebration, everybody pops and stuff like that. And I think in that point in time, there was no one better to have that opportunity. So I was very well happy to be able to hand that championship off.
Yeah, that was cool.
And we're going to go into our first commercial break more when we come back.
Void has had about a 10-15 minute break. He's looking fresh.
They do say second time's the charm, Jake.
Oh, yeah, he's got the second leg. Chris Jones, though. Oh, man, not so much.
That's right.
The bell is rung. It is ready.
The match will start.
The match is on. The match is on. Oh, my Lord. This may not be a very long one, though, ladies and gentlemen.
To get to his feet here.
Let's go, Void!
Trying to get a Void chant going here.
Oh, man, the disaster piece.
Oh, my Lord.
masterpiece.
Oh man, here it is!
We could have a new
Chris Jones is done!
Jones again!
Are you
Jones
serious? Oh
again!
man.
Boy,
What is Chris
taking his time
Jones?
here. Jones.
Not a lot left in him.
Tell him he wants a
that
piece.
cockiness.
You know Jones is the fighting champion. Just cash it. Oh my God! Head first.
There it is. That is it, ladies and gentlemen.
We have a new XCW champion.
Cashes it in. Oh man.
From Mr. Money in the Bank to XCW champion. Boyd.
What a great cash in by Boyd.
What a
It would be awful to cash it in and lose your opportunity.
Jones just gets it stolen out from under.
And we're back, and I kind of pretty much know what that video footage for that commercial is going to be. Now, off that high note, Void grabbing that brass ring, becoming XCW champion for the first time, right?
Yeah.
For that first time, what's XCW Void's low point in his career? Your lowest moment where you felt like you were nothing.
When I had to give the title to Brent Stoker. That was, and then I had to pretty much start from ground zero after that because I had to build up my reputation again. I had to build myself back up, and that was pretty tough.
You lost it to him, right? You didn't just give it to him?
Pretty much.
Okay, I was going to say, because I've been hitting the head a lot. Just giving it to Brandon Stickle. But now if it's coming back to me, you guys did have the map game.
We had the best 3 of 5.
That's what it was. Yeah. Anybody in XCW that Void doesn't like?
Quite a few, but
No, name a couple.
well, DTC for one, fuck you, bud. And for two, Jackson Wall. I don't know, there's just something about that dude. He is obnoxious, annoying.
He's not obnoxious. He's legend. Continue.
Yeah. I was gonna say the dairy part. You're right.
That's a new answer. Obviously, Jackson Hall being a new participant in XCW.
Yeah. It's just something about his ego, and it just doesn't sit well.
What is Void's least favorite show of the year? If you want to include Ground Zeroes, but that'd be like Ground Zeroes as a whole. Like, we'll include that because you partake in Ground Zeroes.
I don't really have a least favorite show. I guess if I had one, it'd be like the Builders going up to like SummerMania, where you're just kind of out there.
The go-home shows.
Yeah, you know. Because I don't know.
How did it personally feel? Because a lot of people, wrestling, just us hanging out with Josh and our friends and stuff like that. They don't take it too seriously, but personally, how did it feel to be inducted to the XCW Hall of Fame? Because even if we didn't base it off a viewer standpoint of votes, I think that if we did it we'll say XCW Brass, like Fletch, Genocide, Hazard, Cynical, if you still around, I think if they voted, they would have also voted to put you in. So based off the people's vote and the people's vote,
Right.
how did the person make you feel to finally get in the Hall of Fame?
There's a point where accomplishments kind of overpower everything, and for that to be an accomplishment of something I've done in something that's not just my life, but as the viewers or my fans or whoever, I mean, I was on top of the world. I was shocked.
And like I said, watching it back, you could tell genuinely, like a lot of people play shocked.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell genuinely, Jesus Christ, genuinely, you winning Hall of Fame and Psycor winning Superstar of the Year, because he had no fucking idea.
Yeah.
Like, it's something like he never even thought would be possible, but genuinely shocked. And those moments are hard to be able to witness something like that, because usually the person, most of the time, you kind of have a feel if you're gonna win or not for the most part. Like most of the time, like if we know like we got a best newcomer, like you just kind of know who it is. But to see someone genuinely surprise you in Psycor, those moments are definitely hard to capture.
Yeah.
Who would you like to see inducted into the Hall of Fame? Like, it's okay if you say somebody that's already in there, but like...
Yeah, a guy like, I don't know if Jesse Justice is in there or not, but I think he definitely should be. I mean, he's been around for fucking ever. Me and him had a little spout in 2014 with the award and the tag team champions,
and Jesse is in the Hall of Fame. What would you do if, like, we've not done this yet that I know of, but like, what if the Ward was inducted into the Hall of Fame as a tag team?
well,
Would we see the Kool-Aid shirts make a return?
There's a good possibility.
Here's a question. Who would you like to face again that you enjoyed facing? Or, even if, like, you didn't have, like, a good first round with them, who would you like to face again? Or who's someone that you haven't faced that you'd like to?
I would love to have a full feud with Fletch. I've never fully had, I don't think me and him ever had a full-fledged feud. We've had a couple singles matches here and there just to kind of fill up a show or whatever, but I would like to have that. But
it's funny, I'll let you continue in a second, but it's funny that you mentioned him specifically because usually, like, there's a question on the free time interviews of like the best finishers, and one of the ones that Fletch always talks about is he enjoys the uniqueness of the disaster piece. So
yeah, I remember one time I messed with the disaster piece so fucking bad I turned it into a stunner.
I remember our short feud that we did have. I wanted to take on the apron so bad, but we just never got the opportunity to do it. It's another stupid thing, but I wanted to do it. Here, so usually give people a chance to ask me a question or cut a promo. I'm going to give you a chance to ask me a question. What would Wood like to ask the franchise player, Chris Jones?
You did a spot off the top of the garage on Mildred Street, didn't you?
The shed, yeah.
Yeah, the shed. How'd it feel knowing you were about to come down on that? Just having a mattress is the only thing to catch you.
We'll see. When you come up with stupid ideas, in the moment, I am not thinking whatsoever about the move. And, like, it doesn't matter if it's a moonsault off the corner, moonsault off the shit, it doesn't matter what it is. But, like, we'll go to the FML of Corey Lee. Like, I was not thinking about the stupid thing we were about to do. I was, how to best protect Corey Lee. And that was to not let him think about it too much. So that's when I asked Corey Lee if he's ready. He said no. I said, okay, let's go. And we just fucking did it. No count, no nothing, just fucking did it. And I was able to protect him. So I tried to think about it too much because then I'll fucking psych myself out.
Yeah.
And it's happened in moves before. You go to, I don't remember what match it is, but I know Fletcher will tell us after we get done recording. There's a match where I was playing LOL. And I went to do a 450 off the ladder. And it turned out to be a 450 double foot stomp instead because I didn't make the whole rotation. And I ended up double foot stomping Knox Cannon. And then there's another match facing Jason Arcane where everything just went fucking wrong. Roddy and Brandon broke the ladder in a death match. Everything just went fucking wrong. The ladders were broke. So, like, I was already psyched out for the whole match, and I went to do a 450 again. I know I can do a 450. I fucking know I can. And then I got in the corner, thought about it too long, and then fucked it up. I overshot him and sat down. They didn't fucking complete the rotation. So, like, you just can't think about that stuff too much and just fucking do it. Otherwise, you psych yourself out, and it turns out like shit.
Right.
Here's a question I'm interested because many people have different opinions about Fletch, if he has short fuse or whatnot. You had a match with DJ Walbert. There was a championship on the line. I don't remember what it is. I'm going to just grab out of thin air and say it's the Extreme Championship. Lucky guess. Middle of this match, DJ blows his knee out. Proceeds to roll you up. DJ becomes a New Age champion with a blown out knee. After this match, there was a big fiasco. Because obviously he was going to have to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
The lights we had for the show, part of them, were DJ's mom's.
Yep.
Fletch was only worried about you guys letting DJ win instead of you just getting the pin on him. Like, what do you think of that whole situation? How could it have been handled better?
Well, he didn't just roll me up. What happened was he blew out his knee.
Doing the 3 clotheslines in case anybody doesn't know.
Yeah, he was doing the 3 clotheslines out of the corner, and he went to go back, I think, for his second or third one, and I don't know how he did it, but his knee blown out. He dislocated his fucking kneecap, and I was lost at the point in time what to do because I didn't know. I just knew he was the one that was supposed to go over at that point. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So I told him just go ahead and low blow and roll me up, and that was not the right move. Either the ref should have ended it right then and there, been like, you know what, void retains, whatever, or I should have, just did the pin. That whole situation could have been avoided.
Oh man, look at this fire he's coming out with. Oh man! Oh! Oh man, look at this. The champ down.
Coming awkwardly off that turnbuckle here.
You gotta love that, unfortunately. Oh man, ref checking on him. That knee landed wrong on it.
Oh, what? Trying to sucker him in.
Look at that! Oh man! What just happened? All it took was one hit, a second hit to the jubblies. Oh man!
Do you chalk that up to inexperience on the participants in the match?
Yes.
You guys and even the referee?
I think it was the inexperience on my end for sure. And then, of course, I think DJ was in his third year when he did that.
And he just came back from injury because he broke his arm or his elbow or something.
Or his other knee.
No, he hurt his arm in training.
Yeah.
That's why we took the coup de grace from him, because he didn't listen to what I said. Ultimately, I think Brandon Hobbs might be a jinx. Brandon Hobbs breaks Tommy's leg. He's in the ring when DJ hurts his arm, breaks his own fucking leg doing a moonsault, whatever. But I believe things could have been handled a little differently. And the tension could have been diffused.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting question. Everybody that knows Chris Jones knows what his baby is, and that's EBW. You were not a major player originally in EBWs. So, let me ask you a question. If there was another EBW invasion,
Yep.
which side would you like to be a part of?
XCW.
Why?
It's just, it's nothing against EBW per se. It's just, I've built a comfortability with XCW that I wouldn't have on EBW. So, I would just stick with XCW.
Good, because I'd fucking pick you for my team anyways, bitch. That completely makes sense. Obviously, you are one of the cornerstones for XCW, so I feel it would make sense for Roy to be on XCW's side. And, I can't remember who asked me. I think it was ACT when he took over the show. We had a EBW conversation of, who would I pick or whatever. And I picked and prodded people that were cornerstones for XCW. So it completely makes sense that you would be one of the primary people facing off against EBW. So, good choice. Would you ever wrestle for FWL or Untamed? If you're not familiar with Untamed, that is essentially XAWA.
That's just on the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Why not?
Because I'm not stupid. I like to have a ring or...
FWL is building a ring.
They're building a ring?
From the pictures I've seen, they're building a ring.
I would do FWL, but not XAWA.
Interesting. What are Void's future wrestling goals as we head into 2022? Obviously, you're on a high because you won the Hall of Fame. So, being that you are now, I would say you're in a different ballpark and level than some people that aren't in the Hall of Fame. I would say you're in a different ballpark than Brady. Brogan's not in the Hall of Fame. Even Jesse. You and Jesse are both in the Hall of Fame. You're over here while they're over there trying to get over here. And it doesn't matter how many amazing matches you have. You have attained something that a lot of people haven't.
Yeah.
So what are your goals as you're heading into 2022 off this high?
Okay. Well, there's two things. Number one, I'd love to get another shot at the XCW Championship. Or I've never, ever, ever held, and I failed to do it last year.
Extreme King?
Nope. That is the international or the U.S. title now. I've held every single other title in XCW except the U.S./international.
I actually never realized that. Well, if we head into 2022 and you obtain that, that would make Void another Grand Slam champion, which I was the first Kurt Aston. So, good goals. Goal for next year at SummerMania? What would you like to be doing next year at SummerMania? Either cashing in. No, that doesn't have to how it happens.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say that's later on, but I'd love to be getting the world title or something of the nature.
It could potentially happen. Couple questions left before we end the show. There wasn't a lot of skeletons in Void's closet. I tried to do my research, which I try to do for everybody. So, what's your opinion of ACT as a person and as a wrestling character?
Well, so when it comes to ACT, it's not a gimmick, it's a lifestyle. Whether he pretends to be smart or if he actually is, it's undetermined. But he's all right. He's a good. I think there's some things in wrestling that he could do better. Like take a fucking suplex.
And he knows he needs to work on that.
Yeah. I think I tried to give him one in the field of fatality, and it was like picking up dead weight. I just couldn't do it.
What do you think of Jaden Jones? Because that is him as a person. Same thing?
No, Jaden Jones is a little bit cooler than an ACT because
Just a little
bit. Me and him have kind of the same interest outside of wrestling. We're both sports freaks, and we're both Steelers fans, so that's a huge help.
He's a Steelers fan?
He sure the hell is.
I just lost respect for him.
And,
I'm just kidding.
But no, me and him and our girls, we took him out and we all went bowling one night in downtown Franklin. So we
can't take me and Fletch out. We like bowling.
I'll take you guys soon.
We like Chili's. We like to do a little.
I think we even went to Texas Roadhouse that night too.
Me and Fletch can do a little salsa dancing. All right, last question of the show. It's usually what I end on. A lot of people, they think sometimes it's hard to approach Fletch or something like that. But if someone were to want to get involved in XCW, and I always say whether it be wrestler, referee, announcer, camera person, or someone just wants to watch the show, how should they go about it?
Just go up and ask them. We always need the people, especially if it's talent. Or, hell, sometimes we have spots where we need 3 or 4 refs, and that's all we have on our roster is 3 or 4 refs. So, we can always use the ref help, we can always use the talent help, and hell, if you want to come watch the show, feel more free to. We're not going to say no.
Well, I'm sure there's a couple people out there Fletch might say no to, but...
there's a couple on the list,
Well, once again, I definitely want to thank you for being a part of this. It's been a long time coming, someone of your caliber, so I'm actually kind of glad we waited until after Viewer's Choice Awards. That way, being joined by a fellow Hall of Famer. It's not just always joined by Fletch, 2 Hall of Famers, but now joined by my friend Void, my brother, one of XCW's newest Hall of Famers in 2021. I'm going to thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Proud to call you a fellow Hall of Famer. Join us next time for episode 10 of No False Finish, where you get one of Chris Jones's most recent feuds. Yes, Chris Jones is bringing Tyler Skaggs.
Love you, boy.
Love you, boy!
That's not playing. Oh, that's 4 months. Come on,